welcome to our presentation. We will be focusing on the comparison of culturally different countries, and we'll be focusing on the UK, China and the USA.
Hello, I'm Jenny. I'm going to talk about the cage theory. According to Golemot of 2001, he stated that cage framework offers a broader view of distance and provide another way of thinking about locations and opportunities and risks that can associate with global coverage. CAGE stands for Culture, Administration, Geography, and Economy. The letter C stands for culture. They are typically related to the difference of language, religions, ethnicity, and social norms. For example, food is a product that affects culture and national identity of the consumer. Administration is the letter A. They shows the differences in the measure of the formal institutions, and such as the legal systems, mechanism of financial regulations, and rules on labor markets. Government is highly involved with the industries. They are the provider of the good, supplies good. They are also the producer of other establishments. They are also large employers. They are one of the large suppliers to the government and also the exporter of natural resources. G is geography. They are where they determine the physical distance, climate differences in the different time zones in each location. They also judges the difference of their geographic size and also the economies, and also if the economy is landlocked or their transportation infrastructures, and also their common border between countries. Economy, lastly we have economy, which is related to the level of development measured in GDP per capita. They also measure the differences of consumer incomes by the cost and quantity of natural resources, financial resources, human resources, infrastructures, intermediate inputs, and also by information and knowledge.
Hi, I'm Daniel, and I'm going to be speaking to you today about the Hofstede theory. This is contained of 6 parts. The first is power distance, which is where people have different power and they have different control within society, so that everyone's not actually equal. The second is collectivism versus individualism. Collectivism is when society works as a whole and cares about the community together, whereas individualism is more about striving for your own success. The third is uncertain avoidance index, which is about the future relations and how you use the past experiences to help with the future development of the country. The fourth is femininity versus individualism. Individualism is a society which is driven by success, and they are more, whereas if they're feminine, they are more about caring and the society and the quality of life. Short-term versus long-term orientation is about using past events to help with the long-term aim, whereas focusing on short-term is about the focus now. Restraint versus indulgence. Restraint is working hard now and saving for the future, and indulgence is working hard and paying all the rewards now.
My name is Nihal and I'm going to talk about China. As we all know, China is still considered as a developing nation, even though it has made a lot of progress in the past decade. The GDP of China, which was $677 in 1986, is now 16,660 in 2017. And according to research analyst McKinsey, its research says that by 2020, the income of more than half of the Chinese urban households is going to boost, it's going to rise, and they will all go into upper middle class, which is rarely seen in China in 2000. And collectivism in China, as we all know, Chinese are more collectivist than most of other population in the earth. This is the more culture and which stays predominantly to Confucian theory. The best example of this collectivism is the Great Wall of China, which was built during 581 to 618 AD, which is around 17,076 kilometer long, and also a lot of Chinese mega projects like the cities and all, they were all made and created that best because of the collectivism which is in the culture of China, and as the collectivism is in Chinese culture, where the whole unit is giving the priority rather than giving the priority to individual people. So because of that, they are likely to collaborate and cooperate more efficiently in the world, and there are high chances that China might go in top in the GDP. Thank you.
So I will be talking about the UK and Brexit. So what is Brexit? Brexit is the process of the UK leaving the EU, and the majority of the public in 2016 voted to leave rather than stay. So before Brexit, the UK is a part of 40 trade agreements. Before Brexit, the UK is a part of 40 trade agreements. The EU is the most important trading partner of the UK, and the UK is also part of the customs union, which means it has the same tariffs as the other EU countries compared to non-EU countries. So after Brexit, the trade agreements would not be in place, which means the UK would have to make new trade deals with all the different countries. The UK will need to pay tariffs on goods and services for exports into the EU, which could cost up to 7.4 billion a year for the UK. I'm going to be talking about the UK's current practices, current business practices in the manufacturing sector. So manufacturing contributes up to 6.7 trillion to the global economy, in which the UK is the 9th largest industrial nation. However, it is expected to be in one of the top 5 by 2021. In the UK, manufacturing makes up to 11% of the gross added value, as you can see in these tables here. However, 70% of UK manufacturers say that Brexit would affect and it would damage the strategic planning and business prospects in the UK manufacturing industry. I'm going to be talking about the trading between the UK and China. So as you can see in this table here, the trading between UK and China have increased rapidly between 1999 and 2017. However, because UK exports to China is lower than the UK imports from China, there is a trade deficit of minus 22.9 billion. The trade in goods between UK and China. So UK is the largest export to China with road vehicles, which is about 27% of all the goods and exports that go to China. And the largest import from China into the UK was telecoms equipment, which was 14% of all the goods imported from China.
Hello, my name is Shanujan, and I'll be focusing on the culture of USA, especially in the manufacturing sector. So manufacturing plays an essential role in terms of the GDP in the USA. In 2018, it brought about $2.2 trillion. So through this, we can see that USA manufacturing is one of the largest in the world after China. It produces about 18.2% of the world's goods. So, and it's also stated that half of the US exports are from USA itself. So in terms of the workforce, manufacturing brings about 12.7 million workers, which is employing about 8.5% of US workforce, which is considerably high. And they also pay a lot higher by 12% than. So now I'm going to be focusing on the trends in US manufacturing in today's day. So the US manufacturing sector is not as popular as it used to be during the 1970s, as back then it used to generate around 24.3% of US GDP, which which is double of what it is in today's day. America, which used to be the world's leading manufacturer, has slipped its spot in 2010 by China. The reason for this decline in manufacturing is due to the fact that other sectors in America are risen, such as healthcare and banking, and workers have developed other skills other than labour and have taken interest in other sectors. Furthermore, labour cost in the US is much greater as opposed to having labour cost in China, as it is a lot cheaper in China, and corporations expand to other countries which they can get cheaper labour from, as well as a corporation tax is involved. Furthermore, labour cost in the US is much greater as opposed to having lower paid labour in countries such as China, which is a lot more beneficial to corporate. Also, corporate tax is a lot higher in the US as well, which is a reason why US manufacturing is declining nowadays. Manufacturing is set to increase by 3.9% in 2019 with the help of President Donald Trump with his tax cut. Overall, it will help bring back jobs in manufacturing, and hopefully it will bring manufacturing. We've come to the end of our presentation. This is our reference page, so these are all the links that we've used to support our presentation. Thank you for listening for our presentation.